They just barricaded the only bridge to my family's old retreat, declaring I'd never set foot there again. That 140-year-old pondside cabin was my last lifeline after losing it all in Seattle. Now the HOA had erected massive metal barriers, severing the sole access point, insisting I tear down my blight right away. They figured they'd cornered Mino Bridge, no cabin, case closed. But what these arrogant tyrants didn't realize is that your apparent vulnerability can become your deadliest asset. This HOA had just ignited a firestorm they couldn't extinguish. Folks, buckle up. This revenge tale is about to explode. Let me set the scene for the nightmare I faced. Mrs. Eleanor Hargrove, 56, Crystal Ridge HOA chairwoman, the sort who starches her curtains and polishes her silverware twice a day. I'd caught on to her habits every evening at dusk. She'd cruise her spotless black SUV past my place, pausing at the overlook by Crystal Ridge Pond. She'd linger for precisely 15 minutes, barking into her phone, waving her arms wildly while glaring at my land. She always sported those silk scarves, even in summer heat, as if ordinary air might soil her. Her words weren't chats, they were commands. You know the breed. They infest every suburb, office, or club where authority corrupts absolutely. I'd fled to this ancestral cabin after my Seattle HOA debacle wrecked me, financially and mentally. I figured I'd wised up to these vipers, but fate had a twisted encore. This spot was my final shot, my desperate gamble. I had 45 days to scrape together $150,000 or forfeit it too. The squeeze was brutal thin-canned soup for every meal, skipping utilities to save pennies. I'd jolt awake daily, staring at my phone, $632 in the bank. That pitiful sum stood between me and utter devastation. I'd crunch numbers. If I snagged one rental, maybe two, I could limp another week. But those barriers killed even that flicker of hope. Mrs. Hargrove wasn't content with pain. She craved annihilation. Each delay pushed me nearer to ruin, eroding my family's century-old stake. Then the crimson notice arrived, gut-punching like a foreclosure threat. Cabin breaches visual codes. Upgrade in 21 days or incur $400 daily penalties plus path blockade. I gawked at it, muttering, not again. But Hargrove escalated to siege mode. She arrived with a surveyor snapping pics of every infraction. Iron gates like prison walls, motion sensors, and believe Ida burly guard eyeing me like a thief. The blow was swift, for booked rentals vaporized when guests spotted the blockade. The cabin was my loan's only backing, so no income meant default. I'd lose it and still owe $75,000. Picture drowning, only for someone to hurl concrete boots instead of a rope. Yet here's the twist. Mrs. Agnes, 75-year-old lifelong resident, began probing. She marched up to Hargrove. Eleanor, this path stood since my childhood. Why the fuss now? Hargrove snapped icily. Standards evolve, Agnes. Adapt or fall behind. That smug dismissal ignited my fury. From Seattle, I'd learned, rage blinds, research wins. So I cooled off, fired up my computer, and dove into Crystal Ridge HOA archives, vintage surveys from my grandpa's era, every scrap online. Then I raided the attic, a dust-choked maze of crates, faded linens, splintered relics. 3 grueling days later, ready to surrender and beg Hargrove, I spotted a forgotten trunk under the eaves. Fingers numb from chill and dread, I pried it open. There, a faded 1952 ledger in Grandpa's script. This path forged by my labor, Thompson Estate, private domain. Gazing at the bridge through frost-rimed glass, I grinned for the first time in ages. Hargrove, in her zeal to crush me, had roused a ghost from 70 years past. Grandpa wasn't sloppy. He documented obsessively. Clutching that page, I saw this transcended my hewed. It was a crusade against abusers who trample the vulnerable. Hargrove was poised to learn that silence often masks fury. Next morning, sipping Joe on the stoop, pondering tactics, an elder ambled over. Marcus Hale, 65, ex-builder with rough palms and a sun-beaten, gaze hinting at battles won and lost. He chit-chatted repairs, but his evasion screamed ulterior. Finally, I bolted in 2019. Hargrove had squeezed him for $7,500 on a sidewalk scheme. Refusal sparked endless nitpicks until he folded and sold. It was surgical, he growled. Lawn edging off by half an inch, shed paint mismatched by code, fence slats needing realignment even post-power wash. Weekly hits, fines snowballing. Worse, neighbors he'd mentored, share holidays with, shunned him as Hargrove, smeared him as a drag on values. It was mind games, turning kin against kin till surrender. When I flashed the deed, Marcus bolted upright. Kid, this predates the HOA by 2010 founding. They got no hold. His thrill kindled mine, but I spied vindication for us all. Hargrove ramped up, blasting texts with my cabin shots claiming 12% value dips, forming a ridge integrity squad for smears. She branded me coastal interloper like a plague. The neighborhood cleaved. Some swallowed her bait, safeguard our equity. Others rebelled. That path's heritage. Why target? Misses. Agnes rallied. Alex Thompson claims his due. Marcus and I schemed. Sustained bridge work for leverage, amass ironclad proof, let Hargrove expose her venom. Marcus dug. 4 families dumped pondside lots cheap 2020 to 2022 post-HA violations. Satellite maps revealed. She's gobbling waterfronts. Yours caps the prized arc without bridge control, her empire tanks. This wasn't petty. It reeked of megabucks development fraud. I replied curtly. Path review flags decay. Fixes start tomorrow, 10 to 14 days. Appreciate understanding. Bet she quivered, dialing counsel. He can't. It's ours. But HOAs bank on capitulation. They falter against vets like me who parse legalese and counterpunch. Dawn hit. Marcus and I hit the bridge like commandos. I slapped a glaring placard. Hazard. Repairs in progress, no transit. Yanked 4 slats enough to halt passage. 0 real harm. Marcus donned helmet, clipboard and grip, looking official. Chaos ensued within minutes. A dad's plea kid's bus rerouted miles. Elder hauling bags in sleet. Ambulances detoured 40 minutes. Deliveries rotting curbside. My line exploded with woes folks soaked, kids tardy, Gramps missing meds. These weren't foes. They were innocents caught in crossfire. Guilt gnawed. Was I the oppressor now? Hargrove frothed at a crisis huddle. We're captives to this intruder. Her intruder, jab-stung eye was blood air. Factions warred. Agnes crew, he's legit repairing his own, versus. A bean counter's selfish sabotage. Vandals tagged my gate path ogre. Hargrove ultimatumed yield or litigate. Doubt stormed. Maybe yield. But Marcus grounded. Recall, why battle? Preserve the sacred. Grandpa's snapshot steadied. This path links eras guarded. Tensions peaked. Hargrove's calls leaked investor deadlines, her poise fracturing. Spies noted her frantic strides, gesturing wildly at my shore. Money loomed large, her mask slipping as neighbors' loyalties shifted. Hargrove staged the resolution assembly, full circus, county brass, press, all 47 clans. She thundered, siege by a relic holder dictating lives. Slideshow, delayed aid, rain-drenched tots, tearful tales. Petition 28 signatures for suits. Her shark will claim nuisance. The mob turned. The bean counter barked. Justify tormenting us. I rose, briefcase heavy, laid out. 1952 deed, Grandpa's blueprints, his Val Thompson domain eternal. Regrets for hassles, but HOA post dates by decades who encroached. Uproar. Hargrove blanched. A deputy verified authentic Thompsons. Cheers clashed with jeers. I demanded apology. Violation drop. Rights respect. But her buzzes hinted deeper rot. Timeline slip. Developer fury. Suspicion bloomed. Her allies grilled her oversight. She countered viciously. Media blitz portraying me as tyrant via technicality. 400-strong forum vilifying me. Loophole hunting lawyers. bogus eco-probes alleging pawn taint. Vandalism, surge slurs on walls, block drive, torch postbox. Isolation bid. Was I mirroring her cruelty, harming innocence? Marcus bolstered. Hold for justice. Her sequel summit brought heavies. Commissioner Ellis, inspectors. Path hazard. County seizes for public good, Ellis decreed. Inspectors rigged dossier, wrought imminent collapse risk. Hargrove beamed. Will erect fresh span. Fair payout for relic. Claps echoed. I nearly caved, drafting concession, but Grandpa's envelope, crisis only beckoned. Inside, 1,952 county packs, Grandpa's $4,000 upkeep fund, now $60,000 equiv, vanished filings. Marcus unearthed. Hargrove Kins Overton Builds quoted $400,000 for bridge triple norm. Snagged 80% HOA gigs. Timelines. Families ousted post finds her Ridge Progress Fund in 2021. Agnes slipped me a flash drive. Years of sleuthing emails on land grabs, tape calls on kickbacks, snaps of shady huddles. Old gals are ghosts, she winked. Inspector? Hargrove's crony. Report predated visit. I tipped reporter Lena Gray on corruption. She vetted feverishly. Eve of triumph. Hargrove's landmark event packed. Ellis penning demo. Overton reps grinning. Era of progress dawns, she crowed. I interjected. View these. Outpoured. Transfers to Hargrove. Fraud emails, recordings, photos. Ellis froze. What's this? Hargrove stammered fakes. Lena rose. Verified. Expose tomorrow HOA, graft unmasked. Bedlam. The bean counter confessed. She bought me with $40,000 gig proof here. Dominoes. Bribed kin exposed. Inspector ties. Overton shell as launderer. 20 years unraveled. Hargrove wailed plot, as Agnes quipped. You fooled none, dear. Ellis halted, arrested her on-site cuffed amid betrayed stares. Fallout. Probes gutted HOA books, Overton shuddered. Hargrove rotted in jail, disowned, friendlessest shell of her tyranny. For months on, we launched Legacy Path Fest. Marcus, new chair, renamed it Legacy Path, crafted by Elias Thompson, 1952. Agnes cut the tape, winking. That dusk on my deck, bridge aglow, I penned in Grandpa's journal. Path held, but justice shields all. This saga, beyond wood and land, it's defying despots, honoring roots, proving truth topples deceit empires. Was I justified in disrupting lives for heritage, or did I become the bully? Should HOAs hold such power, or are they ripe for abuse? Like if you side with Standing Firm, comment your HOA horror, and subscribe for more raw justice yarns.